welcome everybody to session 9, and this is our final session for term 3. We'll be back here in term 4, which is going to be something like around about the 17th of October by the look of it, when we next meet. All right, so this is where we left it off last week, and therefore we need to finish off this elevation here. Before we go on and put it on paper space and show you how to put some elevation. So I might just, once I've done that today, I might move on to that, even though we haven't finished the second one yet, just so we can get some taste of what's to come. And for those that are ahead, can go ahead and do the rest of the annotations. So let's have a look. This is the elevation here. So up from here, we're going to put in this cupboard up here, so that there is 600 in depth, but it from the 914, which is a bench top, is 585 up, which is the bottom of it, and then it's just 600. Right, so that's that there. Okay, so let's do that, and the width of it we already know from somewhere. Did we draw that overhead? We did here, so that's the overhead. So the width of it we've got here should be 300, I think. 320, sorry. So okay, let's do that. So just come up here and making sure we're in the correct layer, which I'm not. I'm in appliances. I should be in joinery. So joinery elevation. So let's just change that to joinery elevation right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is draw a line, just so I have something to offset, because I think this one here, oh no, we've got a line there, so we can use that one. Okay, we can use that one to offset 585. So let's do that. So I just highlight that, and I go offset. Now I'm checking my offset settings here, and it says, especially the layer, it says source, which means it'll be the same as what I offset. It'll be that brown color. So I want to change it so it goes to the current layer. So I'll go current. So I just go. I just change the layer to current, which means now I can put in 585. Enter. Oh, I have to select it again and click here. It somehow changes things when I muck around with the options. So there we go. So then we'll just go 600 high, which is looking at this, 600 high. So we'll go click here, offset again, and type in 600, enter. So have a look here, there it is, and just click it, and it's 320 in the width. So just offset this line, or I can draw another line from there down 320. It's just another technique. If you want to just draw a line, you just basically need to make sure you got your object snaps on and you have your object snap tracking on, and then you can just hang there for a bit, move to the right. I mean, I didn't click. It gives you that green dashed line. Then you can type in 320, enter, and then perpendicular. So I need to go across perpendicular. There you go. If it's not coming up, shift right click, perpendicular. There it is. And then you can trim. TR, enter. Enter is my way of doing it today. And that will just get rid of those bits there. I'll just pause for a tick and I'll come back. Okay, so now we will go on and do a little bit more on that before we put the tiles on. So I'm just going to put this door thickness here and the knob, I suppose, and then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this tiling, which is a bit unusual, I just noticed. But I suppose we've got these shelves here. I was just thinking like it should come right across, but the shelves are in the way. Just looks a bit odd. Anyhow, let's go and have a look here. So it's 18 millimeters is our favorite number, I think. So if we just go this one here, offset 18, enter, there you go. and we put in these knobs. Oh, yeah, these knobs here. Okay, the knob. Where we put in that about 50 mil from the bottom. I suppose the same as this. This one here, it was like 50 from the top of that, so we'll go 50 from the bottom. And it doesn't matter how far in. All right, so let's go insert in joinery layer. We're going to go insert, insert. Let's stretch it out. Here's a knob. I already brought it in beforehand, but if not, it is in your blocks. So it's called door handle. So don't look under K. it's not a knob. It's the door handle. And that's going to go from there up. I'm just doing the old snapping thing. So 50 millimeters, or not 550. All right, that's where it goes. Looks good. And then just draw a line across here for tiles for the splashback. And then we're going to put these things here, which are given here 300, 100, 370. That shouldn't be too hard, I suppose. All right, the position of those is also marked out here, so we can project up to work out where they are. So I'm just going to draw a line that goes from the plan view of those shelves up. And I'll draw another line here. It goes there, all the way up. Beautiful. Okay, so now we go, we'll draw another line from the intersection there up. I'm just doing the snapping thing again, maybe, yes. 300 up. Otherwise, you have to offset. And I'm going to go across there like this. So that should be 300 up. I'm going to check again, in case we didn't do it right. That's correct. So then we've got 100 millimeters for each of those. So just click on that. We go O for offset, 100, enter. Click it over there, done. And we have one more, which is 370 up. So I can just offset this 370. So I can just go offset, click O for offset, 370, enter, goes up here. And then I'll click it again and I'll go 100 this time. And there we are. And so now I'm going to trim this up. TR, enter, enter. I'll just stop, pause there in a tick. And see how you're going. There's our shelves, and we're just ready to put in the tiles in here in a tick. And I'll show you how to do that. Oh, this line is not needed. Get rid of that. And it looks like these are not needed. Delete them. So good to keep it all clean as you're going along. How about that? Let's do that. Okay, so just recording this bit here. We're not there yet, but when you guys get to that, for the next elevation, the overhead doors for the overhead cupboards are actually called overhead door left and overhead door right, which makes sense unless you're looking for just door. Okay. All right, so moving ahead. So we're going to now just put in these tiles in here, and those of you that are ahead a bit, you might want to look at this next bit as well when I do the tiles, because I'm going to show you perhaps a different way of doing the square tiles than what you traditionally used to, or the instructions I've told you. You know, if you did the hatching in the instructions earlier, then that probably didn't really tell you the whole story. So we'll do that now. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the. Have I finished this? Is there anything else I missed from? Oh, I missed a line here. I'll just put that under hatching. There's a line here, which is just set the layer to hatching. Here. Yeah, and then just draw a couple lines there. I'll go across here. Okay, there, done. That's the side of the cupboard. So now we need to put in some tiles, and I just want to see if we've got a tiling layer, glazing, floor, outline. doors, joinery, probably going to hatching. Oh, tile, no, tile to block. We haven't got any tiles. What are we going to do? Here we go, elevation tiles. We have, don't panic. See, we've got tiles. Where is this? Oh, I've frozen the joinery. Yeah, that was the original floor plan one, so I've just frozen it. So yeah, sorry, there is a layer called elevation tiles. Let's go with that. It's all grey, as you can see. We're really, really good with colors here. All right, so let's go. It's grey. So draw a line. The question is, where do you draw the line from? But at this point, we're only just looking at closing the gaps, I suppose. But in reality, if you wanted to, you could draw it from here in case you ever turn that layer off. It will look a bit silly. So let's just do that. Draw from the edge here. I know it's doubling up, perpendicular to there. And then we're going to come along and look. Let's just go back a step. If we're going to do this, we're going to draw more than one segment of a line. Let's do it using a polyline rather than having a whole lot of little lines that are underneath each other. So let's do a polyline thing. There's nothing wrong with just drawing a line across here to close the gap, and a line across here to close that gap, and a line down here. There's no problem. You can do that, but I just don't want to end up with these little lines everywhere. I think it's a bit messy, so I'm just going to hang the expense and draw all the way across and trace over this window. Now I've got to be careful there because see what happened there? Look at that. I clicked so quickly, but I noticed it had this perpendicular thing come up. So I'm just going to undo that, and that didn't give me the result. So I need to undo that and actually make sure it's got the end point. All right, so hopefully everything is good. All right. Oh, would you look at that? Is your window the same? Why is my window crooked? So we found the problem we didn't expect to find. So the first thing you do is panic. Yeah, correct? No? We don't panic. We won't panic. We'll just wait. First thing to do is to actually check what's going on. And let's go to control 1, which is going to bring my properties up. And I'll redock it. Okay, it says the rotation of the block is 0. So, okay, that could be good. The fact that it's crooked, I don't know. I'm just going to draw another line here. Is yours crooked? Or is it just mine? Is it just mine? Huh? No? Let me see the top line. It could be that I've drawn it all wrong. And I need to borrow yours. I'm just drawing lines across here. Well, you can check the orientation of it is fine, but the whole thing's a little bit crooked for me. Oh, not the whole thing. It looks like 1 or 2 lines are crooked. And then the whole thing is probably been, it's a little bit out. Look at that. Who drew this thing? Like, who drew this thing? I did. All right, so that is just a horizontal thing. That's a problem. Look, I'm going to fix this up, but I won't do it now. Seeing yours is all right. I'm just going to ignore it and I'll get it fixed another time. I'm not sure why that happened at this point, but I'll fix it up in due course and go from there. For now, I'm going to continue with this line along here. So in polyline mode still, and go across here. This time I'm going to go to there, and I'll just yeah, I'm going around here. Yours will end up in the corner. It should, in theory, maybe. And I think oh no, it goes right across. See that across there? So it goes right to the edge. So that goes perpendicular to that. So I'll just undo that step and I'll go shift right click perpendicular to that. So I'll put my crosshair down the bottom here, and then it should draw it up the top. It should stop at the top there, so that line's there, and then I'll just do that. Okay, so if I had just closed those gaps, like I was saying before, no one would ever have known that my window's not right. So, but anyhow, we won't worry about that for now. I'll fix it soon. Now, We're gonna hatch this here. So we don't know these tiles here. It doesn't say what size they are, does it? So I think we've got just trying to guess what size they will be. Let me just measure here. 287. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.5. Okay. Okay, I'm going to guess that these tiles are about 50 millimeters square. All right. So I'm going to actually draw them like that. All right. So, we did do this with one student last week at the end of the lesson, I think, and this tap caused a bit of problem. Like the tiles went through it a bit, but it's not because of what we've done wrong. It's because the way the tap block itself has got some gaps in it, and it would have taken too long to try and find them. Especially when you got curves like this, it can be a problem trying to find those gaps. So we're just going to, being such a small area, we're going to ignore it at this point, or see what we can do in a minute. All right, so let's have a look if it does it today anyway. We'll see. So let's go with a hatch. So let's go to the hatch command, which is right here. All right. So just, or H, enter is the other way of doing it. All right. So hatch, and now by default is on this angle thing. Now looking at the hatch that we've got, which is squares, you might be madly looking through here to find one that looks like that. And I probably went past it. The closest thing I can find is this thing here. That's 45, but that's fine. I can change it around. Can make it so it's horizontal. The thing is, with these hatches here, which are under the pattern section, is that they don't give you the exact size. You have to put some sort of a scale. And down here we haven't actually. I think I said last week, and I left a note somewhere about doing some more hatching down here in the toilet and things like that. So the same principle will apply to the floor tiles as opposed to as it does for elevations. So if, for example, the floor tiles you wanted 300 by 300 tiles, you could just put in a 300 number in here. So with the pattern one, we can't do that. It's just a guess. So to make it accurate, but it only works for squares basically, is to go and change it from pattern to user defined up here. And then the scale you put in here is the actual size of the, it's the actual size of the tile. All right, associative is what we want, so that's fine. So let's change that to 50 millimeters. Enter. And then we'll just zoom in here. Now look what's happening. I'm just getting horizontal lines that are 50 millimeters apart. All right, so that's not good. So what are we going to do with that? Okay, so that's sort of good to know that it does horizontals, but it also will do vertical. If I change that to 90, it will do vertical, for example, if I change the angle. But what you actually want to do in this instance is go to the properties, expand the properties out, and highlight this double button. And then it does verticals and horizontals. And yeah, just click it, put it in. Oh, look at that. Went right through to the whole thing. It sort of ignored. Oh no, I didn't ignore it. Actually worked out quite well from my example. My student's example didn't work last week, but this is fine because it hasn't taken the hatch through this. So very careful through the tap. So that's good. Just enter and finish. I hope yours worked out just as good. Oh, didn't work. Hang on. All right. So basically, here it is. However, we do know that this AutoCAD just dropped this somewhere. The tilers will probably want to start their whole tile from a location, and we're going to choose the top right hand corner here, the starting point or the set out for the whole tile. So What you need to do is click this here, set origin, this button, and then just go down here and click that corner, and you get a whole tile at the corner. Ha! All right, good. So that so that makes everybody happy. All right, so that's good. So yeah, it's a good setup point, I reckon. Yeah, that's good. Oh well, about that. That's fine. Yeah, yeah. All right, so that's tiling, and you can use the same system to do your floor tiles. I don't know. I mean, in here, what is this? Here's a toilet. Should we have another go at putting some in the toilet and see what happens? Some tiles. Can I get you to? I know it's digressing a little bit, but can I get you to type in Control 3, or you can go to View and then go to Tool Palettes. That's the same thing. Tool Palettes. Have you ever been in here before? Probably not. Maybe. Basically, these are the blocks that AutoCAD give you, which are not many and they're not that good, but you know you might find something that you like. Toilet's not too bad to grab. Now be careful here because the imperial ones are at the top and the metric ones down the bottom, because you know 99% of the world uses imperial. They're at the top. So here we go. There is a toilet metric here. Have you found it? Everybody found that? So I don't steam my head. Control 3 or View tab, and there's a thing called no, the tool palette. Yeah, tool palette. Yeah, this one here. Yours looks a bit different. Oh, I'm interested. Oh, yes, yours is longer and yeah, it's all right. I've probably been playing around with mine. Yours looks better than how it should look. It's a bit yeah, it's like that, and it's like you know, you might be pushed in. It doesn't matter. Like yeah, I just made it a bit wider, but you can, you know, that's fine. So just imperial up the top, metric down the bottom, go with the toilet metric. So click, that's on the architecture tab here. There's a whole lot of other stuff, all right, so be careful where you are. So architecture, and go toilet metric, click it, and just drop it somewhere, don't worry about what it looks like. All right, so if you just then drop it, we'll just put it under layer appliance to start with. We've got appliances at the top. Yeah, let's put it under that. We've got plumbing. No, we haven't got plumbing, have we? Appliance is fine for now. All right, so drop it there. Then once you highlight it, see how you get this little arrow, this blue arrow down the bottom left here. If you click that, you can get or change it to not pull chain, elongated plan view. Second one maybe. That's it. That one. So the second option. All right, and then with these blocks are actually what they call dynamic blocks, so they can actually morph into something else, change, right? Or either look some different, or if it's in the case of a window, for example, a plan view, it can usually grow and change in size, a bit like Revit, sort of. All right. Okay, so now that we've got this in there, everybody got the toilet in? Those ones are getting the toilet in? Okay, you can actually click on this, and this thing here is what's called an alignment parameter, which doesn't always work, but we'll give it a go. If we click it from here and we bring it near the wall, it should change, and I'll just take my ortho off for a minute. It should change, there you go, to look like it rotates, to go on the angle of the wall. But once I click it, sometimes it might not stay there. It might flip around, but it did. How did yours go if you tried it? Perfect? Is it right? Good. All right. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to drop back to, we are already in elevation tiles, but we'll put the floor tiles in elevation tiles just for this exercise. So here we want to put in some tiles. What I want to do is just draw a line here where the tiles will finish along the door first. So just a line in the middle of that frame to down here. And now we can put in some, maybe some 300s by 300s perhaps. While you're there, draw another line through here because we might have an opportunity to do something else there. All right, so now let's go a hatch. I'm going to go H for hatch, and I'm going to change this number from 50 to 300. Everything should be set up as before. So we should be able to just click in here and click in here, and that's where it is. You can set, you don't have to enter and come out of it. You can actually set the origin before you do the final tick sort of thing. And I'll set the origin to the midpoint of that line. So I get the whole tile other side of that. So that's what I've done with that one. I'll wait for you to have a go at that. Now I'll show you something else that I don't normally show anyone. Because I don't get around to it. But as I said, I say it like I said it before, but I don't actually do a demo. So here's a demo of how you can put in 600 by 600 by 300 tiles in this room, and at 45 degrees. Woo. All right, let's do it. So basically, yeah, hatch, and I'm going to, yeah, I'll do the 300s. Make sure it's on single line. And I'm just going to drop that. I'm also going to put it at 45 degrees. So I'm going to do it in 2 goes. So I'm going to do that there and that there. And I got the roof in the way, so I'll just do another one there. And I'm going to align it so that this setting set out is the middle of that door again. So that's what we want to achieve to start off with, and we'll just go enter. All right, so now I'm going to do the other part of the hatch, which is to the 600 bit. So I just go 600 there, and then it's 135. Yes, that's correct. So it goes the other way. So we'll do that, and this bit here. And again, you can choose where that begins from, that 600. I suppose we want a whole tile from the beginning of the door, perhaps. So I'll see if I can set it to the midpoint there. There you go. Just moved it. It was pretty close, but I moved it a bit. So I'll just escape that now, or tick this. All right. So there we go. If you want to measure to make sure your tiles are correct size, you can use the measuring tool, and you can look at that. Well, you can't measure on a hatch, right? So what are you going to do? Well, you can actually. It's just by default you can't measure. All right, so you've got to go to Tools, Options, Drafting, because we don't normally want to latch onto the hatches. They have it by default turned off. But you can see where it says Ignore Hatch Objects for snapping. You can take that off, and it won't ignore them. All right, everybody seen that? Options, Drafting tab, Ignore Hatch Objects, no tick. Then you can measure hatch distances. You don't really have to worry about checking that because you put the numbers in, but if you ever wanted to check it, you can do it that way and use a normal distance command, and you will find the intersections. If I just tab, goodness me, can't find it because, okay, shift right click, intersection there. That's 600. Check it again from here. Right click, intersection there. Right click, intersection. It's not finding it. Let me try again. It might not find it. Let's see. Why? Intersection there. That's working. 300. Yeah. All right. So that's how you measure hatches. I'll just set it back to how it was. I don't need to worry about that really normally. So back to drafting and just put that back on so I don't get it all confused there when I'm measuring. So okay, so all right, so the other thing we haven't done is some more presentational work on there. So again, here, if you wanted to put some tiles in your kitchen, you would probably just draw like a line. For example, if one part of the kitchen was tiled and another part wasn't, you could do something like this, for example, whatever, and just segregate that area and just hatch that area for tiles. Over here might be carpet, for example, or something else. All right, we won't do that. I just wanted to give you an idea what you could do with this space if you didn't want to tile the whole thing. Over here, this bedroom here, we'll just muck around with this bedroom for 1 minute. Just draw a line through here and through there. So we're just going to hatch that next. We give this drawing a bit of a save, don't forget. So I'm going to hatch this next. And I'm going to go down here. There's a little down arrow next to the hatch. And you can grab the gradient hatch. I mean, it's no big deal really, because if you're in normal hatch, you can just click here and you can see they're all there, like solid, gradient, pattern, user defined, which is what we had. So you can get it from a number of different ways. You can also just keep doing this and it will eventually come down to it anyway. So there's a few different ways you can do that. The colors given are these, but you can have whatever you want. For example, you can have maybe this color and this color, which is a bit. All right, so you can, for example, do that with that room, right, which is okay if that's the color of your carpet. You can put it in. I'll do the whole thing there. It's a few little. Ideally, what we would do when we're hatching a whole lot of rooms here, guys, we would turn off the roof for a start, so it doesn't interfere with our hatching, so I don't have to click many times. I would turn off probably even my doors, but that's not so much of a problem. It's only just an additional click, so that we don't get to do this in 4 different clicks. All right, so that's in like that. I'm just going to tick it for now. Now look what happened here. Because they were done separately, each one of them has got a little gradient in it, which is not what you want, right? You want the whole thing to be more even. See how it's got a little gradient for each section I hatched. And I don't know why it did that. It shouldn't, in theory, shouldn't have done it like that. Because it should treat it as one, and I'm not sure why. But okay, so the only way to fix that is really to, as I said, just turn off the doors, turn off the roof, and just draw your line probably straight across or something like that. But I'm not going to worry about that now. I'll just leave it. What I want to show you is how to do it, and also to show you. And I'm just going to work on the main area now, this bigger one. How you can change it. At the moment, it's on some sort of a linear thing. You can have a cylindrical look. You can have this one here, or you can have ones that radiate from the middle, like that, or like that. Okay, so there's a few different options with that. All right. So there's your gradient hatching. How are you going with that? Okay, so basically we are done. What I want to do next is give you a 2.5 minute break, and then we can, have a little bit of stretch, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to put in or what we've done into paper space, so that you can start dimensioning it, those of you that are a bit ahead, or if you want to do something over the holidays or whatever. Okay, thank you. We'll have a small break.